Hello everyone hello everyone. Wow, first straight away. That was pretty impressive. It's Nikki Gordon Bloomfield here from Transport Evolved. Good evening or good morning wherever you are in the world. Um so if you watched my earlier live video from today, you'll know that I tried really hard to get the Transport Evolved TEN show up and out the door using a 1 kilowatt inverter attached to our Nissan Leaf, and it worked really well. The one problem was that, as someone said, desktop machines don't always like the output waveform from cheap inverters. And while my computer booted up just fine, my main studio machine booted up quite happily, either the graphics card or the Let's try that again. So as I was saying, sorry, this connection may not work because we're working on LTE right now. Either the graphics card in my studio machine or the hard drives didn't like the fact that it wasn't running off nice, smooth AC. And as a consequence, it wouldn't edit properly. So I was able to transfer some of the files I needed over, but instead I was able to work using my laptop and connected my laptop to the power and was able to do kind of like the rudimentary edits for TEN and get that done. However, the show's not finished yet. It's been recorded. It's some of it's been done, but it's not ready. We've still got no power. The really frustrating thing is, let me see if I can show you. So my neighbours across the street, they have power. My other neighbours on this side of the street, they have power. But if you look out this window, you'll see a moon. That block has no power. That block has no power. The other houses beside it have no power. So basically, that side of the street have power. They don't have power. We don't have power. And the houses behind me have power. So the edit machine, which is right there, and you can't see it, that is not functioning. What I can do, I've got the candles going. I can actually turn on one of my studio lights temporarily because this is battery powered. So you can see here, this is the edit machine that I was using earlier on, the actual studio machine. This is my my main studio machine. On that hard drive, right on that unit, on the hard drives inside that tower, are all the files that I use to make 10, and I do have backups. Unfortunately, none of them want to work with power from the inverter. Well, funny you should say that because, and this computer is off as well. Funny you should say that because you'll see these cables here, one that goes to the refrigerator. That's another unit that's plugged in there. And you can see these cables here. One goes all the way up to the bedroom where the internet cable, the internet connection comes in. This one goes all the way downstairs into the garage. And we switch it around. And what we've got is our Nissan Leaf. I charged it up probably about noon. I charged it up. And it's now 9:30 at night. We charged it up, and then I ran the Leaf all day in the garage, just sitting there all afternoon, and it powered all of the things here. It allowed us to keep the refrigerator running, and it allowed us to keep should I get back down here and then you can see me more clearly. It allowed us to keep the refrigerator going, and it allowed us to run my laptop and one of the hard drives I use to do 10. So I've done kind of the basic stuff. So when I'm making 10, obviously I film it and I record the show, and then I ingest it onto my main machine. I do the audio first, then I do the video, then I do the green screen, and the last bit of it, the last bit is when you basically put the last bit is when you put all the pictures on top, the pretty pictures that make it work. How much range does a fridge use? Good question. Well, I mean, we left I plugged the car in about 1. I turned the car on about 1 to power the house. And I think it went from about 1 to sort of 7. And I think we used about 20%, 30% of power of the SoC. So we went out for a meal tonight, obviously, because we've got no power here. And my wife's gone to top the car off at a local DC quick charging station, which of course is all powered. Well, we witnessed, unfortunately, there was an accident on the way home that we witnessed. Someone just blew through a junction. So yes, there's been quite heavy winds in the Portland area, and we're on the west side of Portland. Funnily enough, we do have underground power cables here. So I think what's happened is maybe one of the local transformer substations. So one leg of the 110 volts has been hit and one has not. Hey Nikki, you okay? I'm fine. We just don't have any power, which means while I can edit TEN, and I have been doing TEN today, I've been editing it very, very slowly on my laptop. My laptop's a bit ancient. I've managed to get it to the point where I've got all of their titles in. The green screen is done. I just don't have any of the video of the cars and things that to make it look good. And for those who don't know, the secret I have here, I almost did it in one take today, actually. Nearly the entire 10 was just done in one take, which was phenomenal. I had to go and film it in my daughter's bedroom because it was the only room with enough light. I've got 2 battery-powered lights that I was able to use to do the green screen, but I had to film it in my daughter's bedroom today. Filmed it, ingested it, fine. But the pretty pictures of the cars, that's not been done yet, and that's normally where I do the edits. So when you don't see me on screen is often when I'm doing like a switch between 2 different takes. So I've still got that to do. I felt very frustrated, very angry this afternoon, like I'd let everybody down. But actually, there's not a lot I can do. The power's out. I can't magically make the power come back on. And we're talking about a really heavy duty PC tower. It's not something you can just pick up and put in your handbag. Did the emergency services communicate on how long the outage is? Well, I got a phone call from Portland General Electric this afternoon, or this evening, actually, on the way back, saying, hey, your power's back on. We think your power's back on. Can you check? And it wasn't. So everybody else in the street, well, not everybody else in the street. So I live in a townhouse apartment complex. So it's not like a standard apartment complex. It's basically a load of townhouses that are all obviously owned and operated by one company. And I think I'm in building 10. So building 10, building 9, building 8 are all out. Some of the others are not. What size is your leaf? I understand the average home in the US uses about 30 kilowatts per month. No. So my leaf is a 24 kilowatt hour battery pack. And I would say that I think most American homes get through about 30 kilowatt hours a day. We certainly do, because everything is electrically heated and powered. If so, couldn't your leaf power the entire house? Well, it could. I've got we've got a 1 kilowatt inverter. So the power issue is that the inverter is not powerful enough to do the fridge and the desktop machine. My editing machine is very powerful. The specs of my editing machine, if you're interested, I've got an i7 for 3770K processor overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz. I've got 32 gigabytes of RAM. I've got 40 terabytes of hard drives, which is split up between spinning iron and a 1 terabyte SSD RAID. Got loads of other external drives powered on. I've just put a new graphics card in, which is why I was really wary about using it. When I turned it on, it was making a buzzing noise. I'm like, ooh, I don't think you like not the power's not smooth enough for you. So I need to do some research and do some digging in, and if I can find a smoothing circuit for that power, then I would be good. I do need a power wall. You're quite right. I do need a power wall. The problem is that I live in a rented house. We don't own a house over here yet, partly because when we left the UK, we had to leave, make it sound bad. We left in a bit of a hurry. I have to ask you why you're called a dog. Um, yes, exactly. The temperatures. These are power inverter ones around 13 with the power ran off a generator. It's a 2,000 watt inverter, 2 kilowatt inverter. Yeah, I mean we've got a 1 kilowatt because it was $99, which was cheap. And combined with I spent about just under $200, so I bought some extra cables and things, so because it's a 3-story house. So that was fun, but the computer itself does not like the square output of the power. I ran an old OEM PC and monitor with it just fine. Well, I mean, yes, I could probably fire up one of my other computers, but the issue here is that for editing video, obviously you need a really powerful machine. I use a lot of plugins for green screening and things like that, and it uses a lot of power. My machine is incredibly fast. I mean, it can output, 10 pretty quickly now. Which is one of the reasons why I've switched to doing green screen stuff all the time, because it's a lot easier to do. And those beeping, I don't know if you can hear that beeping in the background. That is my cable modem. We have fibre here, and it's got a battery backup on it, and the battery backup is just about dead. And so it's going beep, beep, beep. What do I think about Hyundai reportedly working on next-gen solid-state batteries? Well, there's some interesting things going on. Well, that's what I was thinking. UPS should clean the power, yes. But back to Hyundai, I would love to see some solid-state batteries. I mean, obviously, solid-state batteries are the way forward, I think, especially if we can get away from we can start using more easily available materials. That would be useful. I think one of my candles is contemplating departing this life. In fact, I think one of them already has. Yes, it has. This is my cinnamon and... Oh no, it's still running. Just. Nope, it's just gone out. So, see if we can get this one lit again. It's almost dead because it's almost at the bottom. There we go. The UPS should clean the power. That's on my list. I want to get a UPS, but I also want to get an office downtown so I can actually have a studio set up. And because every time I film, I have to set up from scratch. So I have to set up the green screen from scratch. I have to set the lights from scratch, set the camera from scratch, set me up from scratch. And it would be really nice just to have a green screen wall, painted wall, the lights there, and I just stand in front of the camera. Yep, exactly. It's transport evolved by candlelight. How retro. The good enough batteries. Yeah, he's actually Brit. He's a Brit. I think they'll go quite a way. I mean, it all depends on patents and whether they get the backing. Someone said something about solar, which I'm afraid I couldn't see. Portable UPS is what you need. Yep. Yep. It will. And my laptop, of course, is quite happy to run off because it's switch mode power supply and it's all very, it's isolated and whatnot. My laptop will run quite happily off anything I throw at it. Hyundai batteries will be 2025. I don't think you meant 20205. That's a long way away. All good things are Brits, fully charged. Yes, fully charged. Wonderful. I'm so glad Robert did that show. I really am. I nagged him quite a bit about that show. You watched the Oslo trip with Robert Llewellyn. Yes, you probably heard me giggling in that quite a lot. probably heard me giggling in that a lot. Sorry, one of my friends is trying to talk to me, saying, oh wow, about the fact that we were using candle power. Candles. It was a very funny trip. So this is why there's no 10 right now. So I hope that this, obviously, if you're watching this, we love Robert. I know he's lovely. He's a lovely guy. He's just so down to earth and normal. And he's a complete and utter nutcase. And I love him to bits. And he's one of the few people to ride in my plug-in Prius before it blew up. I blew my Prius up the day before Robert crashed in his. We had the same generation Prius. And mine blew up because I did something stupid to it. Just tuned in. Is there an ETA for your power back? No, I have a prototype. Blah, 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 blah. That's very cool. The thing. Barking mad, as he says. Yes, watched him when he was the host of Junkyard Wars. I've got a funny story to tell you about that, actually. So I think I've told him this, actually. So I used to live in a little village in the UK. When I graduated, I went and lived in Lincolnshire for a while, and then my wife came to live in the UK. Obviously, she wasn't my wife then, but she came to live in the UK. And we got a place together just outside Reading, in a place called Eversley. And just down the road from us, there was a really good scrapyard. Amazing scrapyard. And I used to drive Morris Minors. They were fantastic. And I needed something for my Morris Minor. And it was around about the same time, actually, that I nearly got a TV show called Life in the Old Gal, which unfortunately didn't make it to the TV screens. We did make a promo for it. But anyway, one day I was looking for some scrap for some stuff for my car. And I was wandering around this scrapyard, and it was just outside Reading, and I can't remember what the name of the town was. It wasn't in Eversley, it was like a couple of towns over. And I was wandering around. I would have been 25 at this point. So it's some time ago now. And I was looking for stuff. And I ended up wandering onto the set of Scrap Heap Challenge. Because it was a working scrapyard. And they had a separate little bit with a scrapyard. How did you flip the wheel? That was a bug in YouTube. But I wandered into this scrapyard, and I had this very strange feeling that I knew where I was, but I couldn't place it because I was looking for a part for my car. And I was looking for a Morris Minor, and they had a Morris Minor right at the top, of course, of the totem pole. And I was looking for it, and I got told off by a production assistant because I'd wandered onto their set, you know. So ridiculous, all those people burning dirty candles. Well, this one's a special candle. This is a pet exterminator candle. Oh, sorry, a pet odour exterminator candle. This one's come all the way from the UK. It was sold by veterinarians. Except this one, this is bizarre. I've never actually seen this before. Sold in the UK. I got it in the UK, but it's actually from Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's actually it's gone over. It presumably flew or came over on a boat to the UK, and now I've gone and brought it back. Except it's the other side of the country now. So that's bizarre. So yes, I wandered onto the Scrap Heap Challenge set long before I knew Robert. If I could convert any classic car, what would I do? I would probably do a Morris Minor. It's late in Nova Scotia. I want to go to bed, but I must watch Nikki. Hello, Nova Scotia. I want to go to Nova Scotia because I am part native First Nations. And I would love to go and research, I think they're called the Micmac tribe, which is, I think, where I'm originally from. A red flow battery storage system, zinc bromide. Ooh, yes, that's very interesting. I watched that. Yes, they are. Went about 20 years ago. You're right, Micmacs. Well, my mum is Canadian, part. Oh, you're part Micmac too. Wonderful. Well, I think I am as well. I'm sort of like 2 or 3% First Nations, apparently, according to my DNA. But we have a hereditary heart condition in our family, and I think it's come from that side, so I'm also interested in that. So a fully charged episode about it. It's got real potential. Yes, that's the one with the wonderful Simon Hackett, who is lovely, lovely guy. After doing the maths, it beats it hands down. It does. I like flow batteries. I like the idea of flow batteries. They're quite clever. People get upset because they say, oh, it's just a fuel cell, but it's not. It's slightly different. So look, I'm looking for some new shows to do. Oh, I've got stuck. Sorry, I'm just stretching my legs. I just realised I've still got my shoes on. Please excuse me, I'm going to take my shoes off. There we go. It depends on how much you like the pet. Well, I like my pets very much. I like things that are pettable. Do you think Model 3 production rates will be what Tesla is currently claiming? I don't know. By the way, if you want to really, talking about Mr. Llewellyn, you want to really freak him out, wear a pair of these around him. He doesn't like them. Power's out. Do I have a Model 3 reservation? No, I do not. Good night, Ed. Yes, good night. Don't apologise for saying good night. Do I have a Model 3 reservation? No. And I'm not going to. My life, my hobbies, and the things I enjoy doing are not compatible with Model 3. Not really. I've got 2 dogs. I like bicycling and power kiting, doing all those kind of things. And I want a car that I can get mucky and dirty and not worry about it too much, which is why we have Nissan Leafs. Also, quite expensive, the Model 3. Quite expensive. And you have to remember that $35,000 is the base price, and you have to add extra stuff on top. Just realised I got my double chin, it looks terrible. Keep my neck up. So you have to, obviously you have to think about extra money going in there for that. And I end up carrying weird things around sometimes in my cars, so I need to have large practical cars, or not large practical spaces, so seats that fold back. What about a 2018 Leaf? Yes, I'm working on my wife. She has said maybe. I mean, if Transport Evolve takes off and I'm actually earning some money, hint, then I might get a 2018 Leaf. I want to keep the RAV. Obviously, we've got the 2013 Leaf right now, which does most of our needs. The only time we really have to charge it when we're on the road is if we're doing longer distance stuff. Going over to Mount Hood, for example, we have to charge it twice. If we're going to Mount Hood from here, we have to charge our Leaf twice, sometimes 3 times in the winter to get to Mount Hood. And then we don't have to charge it. We can get from Mount Hood all the way back to the house without charging it, because it's downhill pretty much all the way. I'm just waiting for... I don't know if I can figure out how this chat thing works. It's a bit like Telegram. Oh, there it is. Do I miss Britain? Very much so. I don't miss the politics. But I do miss the landscape. I miss my farm where I grew up, the farm where I grew up. I miss my mum and my sisters. And I miss... I have guilty pleasure. I miss certain foods. I do. I miss certain foods, and I miss Coleman's mustard, but I can buy Coleman's mustard here, on the west coast, so that's good. There's a Scottish shop, in a local in Portland, and I go to that sometimes and buy things. Keep up the good work. I do try. It's my job. For those who don't know, Transport Evolved is my job. I don't have any other jobs. I've always wanted to go to biscuits. Whisper biscuits. Whisper chocolate, you mean? Yes, I love those. My dad loved those. The first time I saw a Whisper bar in the US, it made me a little teary-eyed, but the one that really got me was Tunnocks caramels. Are you the only one up? Is the family asleep? My daughter's asleep. My wife has gone to charge our Nissan Leaf so that we can power the rest of the house. So basically, if it comes back and it's got 90% on its battery, we can plug it in and just leave it for the rest of the night, and it will keep everything running. And it will, So the Leaf will power our cable modem, which sounds a bit desperate, but it's true. It will power our cable modem. It will power like charging up the phones, laptop, computer, etc., etc. Any plans for meetups in Portland or Seattle areas? What a good idea! I wonder if that would be a good thing. I'd love to do that. What do you think about a small but growing market in replacing EV batteries, keeping cars forever young? I think that would be wonderful. I mean, that's essentially what we're having done with our RAV4 at the moment, except the batteries in the RAV4, of course, are 15 years old. Any plans for meetups in Portland? I would love to do one. Or Seattle. Yes, I'd love to. I do a lot of other stuff in the Portland and Seattle areas. I'm involved with other things. Good morning from Guten Morgen. Haben Sie? What's the word? Haben Sie einen Sonnenbrille von meinem Brille bitte? That's one of the things that I learnt when I was in Germany. Have you got clip-on sunglasses for my glasses? Test driving a Hyundai Ioniq, and I really like the self-driving features. Have you ever tested an Ioniq Electric, and what do you think about it? No. I chatted with Hyundai a couple of weeks ago, well, about a month ago now, or rather, they're in the UK, you talk to the car company directly. Over here, you talk to car pimps. They're called car pimps, and so I see if I can find some for you. I would very much appreciate that. Yes, I learnt that phrase when I was a kid and I was touring as a musician. Putting it nicely. So I spoke to the car pimps and they said, send me some info. We got some forms for you to fill out. And they said, here are the forms that you need to fill out attached. Except they didn't send them. And then no one's replied. So whether I've upset them or what, I don't know. But Hyundai Ioniq is in my list of cars to drive. The next one I think I've got on the list. Don't think I've got anything on the list actually right now. I've got a Model X one coming up soon. How do you feel about the ad boycotts? Has it had any effect on your channel? Not really, because my main car channel is all safe for work stuff. Gen 2 Volt, already driven that, did not make a video though because things were happening in my family. And yes, so none of my channels are not safe for work. All of my channels are safe for work, but there are some channels that people, probably advertisers, may not want to be involved with. Do you have any auto shows up there? You could have a meetup, yes. Probably be there anyway. We have the Portland International Auto Show, which is not really big. I missed that this year, unfortunately. But do you put ads at the end of videos? I do put ads at the end of the videos. I made a decent amount of money from ads last month. Hybrid and BEV Ioniq is available in the UK. PHEV is not available yet. Are all three models available in the US, Europe? I think so. I think all three are over here now. I don't know about Europe. UK is in Europe though, just for a little bit longer. I did vote to remain. Yes, so on the subject of ads, I do put ads in the videos for Transport Evolved. So the Patreon combined with the ads last month meant that I was just above minimum wage for the first time. But after you put in all the expenses I have, I'm not above minimum wage. What I really want to do is I want to do a collaboration with someone and upgrade the RAV. How do you charge your cable modem from your Leaf? Work. I love your pluck. Really? Have you seen it? It's very good. It's just red. I play it with my guitar. How do you charge? So I have an inverter that I plug on. We're plugging an inverter into the Leaf and then going from there. When my wife gets back, if she gets back, she's charging up the Leaf at a local DC quick charging station, and then when she'll get back here, we will plug the car back in, and I'll show you. There's an idea. I don't know what I would do with all that bandwidth. Well, I hope you have fibre. We do have fibre. I have 100 up and 100 down. So in the UK, I actually had 50 up and 150 down, and that was just regular cable, but this is fibre. I would love to get a gigabit. But what I really need is an office, because I live in a house which I rent. There's 3 bedrooms, and obviously there's 3 bedrooms. Each bedroom has its own, doesn't have its own bathroom, but there are 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. But then the central level is just one big massive room, and so I have my, just making sure that might be my wife. I have my studio is kind of wedged in the corner, and when I want to do filming, I have to set it all up and tear it down and whatnot. So I'm looking. This might be my wife coming now. Nope, that is not a Leaf. That's a petrol car. That's a Jaguar, by the sound of it. That's a Jaguar. What range do I expect from the 2050 Leaf? 2018 Leaf, sorry. About 250, maybe 300. Are the biggest trees in the world from Oregon, the sequoia? I've been to Seattle, but not there. I think they are in California. What were you talking? Were you talking about Leaf battery in the RAV? I'd love to do it. Or possibly a Tesla battery. Unfortunately, I didn't have the money. I was offered one at one point. I didn't have the money. What does your wife think of transport evolved? She loves it. She's really supportive. She really got into electric cars. We've been driving EVs now since 2006. Hello from New Zealand. If you are a New Zealander, hello. You get an extra special hello from me, for reasons that may become clear at some point soon. Great to see you online and streaming. Any videos on the way for your other channels? Oh, my other channels. Which ones do you mean? So I know that I have. So for those who don't know, I run. Oh goodness, I've forgotten how many channels I have. I have my own personal channel, and then I have a channel called The Whole Enchilada, which is basically another kind of personal channel. So the personal channel is just for family and friends. Then I have something called The Whole Enchilada, which is just basically all my whole enchilada is everything that is me. So all of the politics, all of my hobbies, etc., etc., etc. And then I have 2 more. One called Chimichanga the Fox, and one called Queenie Deerheart. So I like all your channels. That sounds creepy. Oh my goodness, I'm really surprised how many people watch my furry channels. It's kind of funny, actually. I am from East Africa, Tanzania. Hello there. Wow, you really do come from all around the world. I feel stalkerish when it comes to you. No, don't worry about it. I would tell you if you were being a stalker. Hello from New Zealand. Happy winter, New Zealand. Yes. When do I get the RAV back? Well, I got an email last week saying it's done. Do you want to, or it's just about done. Do you want to come pick it up? And then it was like, but there are 3 modules that might be going, that are not quite balanced. So do you want us to replace them? So I said yes. What are your plans to go Transport Evolved? Is my wife a Kiwi? No, she's not. She is an American. And that's why we're in America. Everyone lists their locations. I'm from South Carolina, USA. Hello. At least I think that's what you said. What are my plans to go Transport Evolved? Well, so at the moment, I'm planning to turn a profit, and then I want to get an office downtown. It doesn't have to be a downtown office, just need to be an office where I can film stuff. I'd love to be like Linus Tech Group and have my own little place to do. I want to do more channels. I want to do a show talking about getting people buying and using cars, cleaner, greener, safer, smarter cars. But also I want to focus on conversions as well. I want to do some stuff with conversions because I love converting. It's amazing how far ahead you are in electric vehicles. I see the US as what Australia will look like in 5 years in regards to electric vehicle network and electric vehicle adoption. I hope so. That would be great, wouldn't it? Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas? Hello from Portugal. What year did I move to the US? I moved to the United States in August 2015. Missouri. That's the city my wife is from. Yes, over cover conversions, please. Is the whole enchilada linked to 10 in the links there. No, I tend not to, and I should. If you look for The Whole Enchilada on YouTube, it's a channel with only two videos at the moment. One of them is kind of morbid because it was a video to a guy that killed himself that I witnessed a couple of weeks ago, and that kind of really shook me up. Would I ever collab with Mundane Matt? I've never met Mundane Matt. Collab with Robert. I feel like if he gave the channel a shout out to his fans, would fall in love with the channel. We've done stuff before together. You just don't know it. So the video where he went to the Arctic Circle, I was driving in the car. I've done the Renault Zoe thing. We did that one together. We do videos very often. We'll film videos together, but we don't actually involve each other. Could I rent a space in a common office space? Yes, and that's what I'm looking for. Good to see a few other Melburnians. That's a really cool name. Should partner with EV West. Yes, I would love to. I want to talk to EV West about getting my RAV. I would love to get. I really love sleepers. I've got a thing for sleepers, and I would love to get, because I had a sleeper. Robert has me as a highlighted channel. Really? Oh wow. Oh wow. I'm touched. Another from Melbourne High here. I think EV conversions will grow and become rapidly growing in the next 10 years, yes. So I would love to build a street sleeper. I had a street sleeper Morris Minor. It looked bog standard, but bloody hell could it shift. It was a petrol. It was 1.8 litre MGTF engine in it, K-series engine conversion. Stupid. 200 brake horsepower, detuned. It was monster. I loved it. I'm a real petrol head who got into EVs. So there you go. I'd love to also get Johnny on one of my videos. Again, Johnny's lovely. I've met him a couple of times, and we've done some stuff. And his car, Johnny's car, the EV, the dragster, flux capacitor belonged to a friend of mine, my best friend actually, and that car lived on my driveway for a year when it was broke. So there you go. That's how it ended up. I'm a petrol head too. My heart was broken when Top Gear broke up. I didn't mind Top Gear going. I suppose I watched it guiltily. If gasoline cars didn't emit anything harmful, what would be your car? Wow, what an incredible question. I've always wanted a DeLorean, which is terrible because I know how terrifyingly horrible they are. I've also wanted a Morgan. I'd love a Tatra. I'd also want a Trabant. I've got a soft spot for Land Rovers, specifically Series 1, Series 2. I've driven Mr. Wilkes' first Land Rover. That was amazing. I ploughed a field with the Land Rover. I love Land Rovers. I grew up on a farm, so I love Land Rovers. I want a Land Rover. In fact, there's an outtake from the recent Prius video that I did with the Prius Prime, and I'm doing this thing to camera and I'm giving it loads of spiel, and then I look to my left and there's a Land Rover, still with its British plates going on, and I got very excited. Yeah, Trabants are brilliant. They're so terrible, they're brilliant. I love. Well, I used to have an MZ, so I used to ride MZs, and so I've got a little. I love two strokes. They're very bad for the planet, so I don't have one. But they are just bonkers. I like bonkers cars. I'd also probably have a some other stuff. Avoid that battery maintainer. Avoid that by battery maintainer every time I charge. Only no maintainer when I'm not in carriage. Do I like Japanese cars? Do I like Japanese cars? I've got a can you love to Caldy? What? Wow, still no power up in Seattle. The news teased of wind up here, but it was a non-event. How about a classic DS? Yes, that would be awesome. I want a Morris Minor converted to electric. Do I like Japanese cars? Yes, I do. I'm a fan of K-Class, K-Jidosa. I love those. I think they're brilliant. And I probably said K-Jidosa. I think I said it right. I love K-Class. I have a friend in the UK with a cappuccino, Suzuki cappuccino. Bloody brilliant. Flipping amazing. I love it to bits. You can run a Land Rover on kerosene. Is there a KEV? Of course there is. The Mitsubishi I is a KEV. It's a K class. That's why it originally had not the American version, but the original version was a K class EV. Yeah, and there've been others, I think. You know, it's funny because all the questions are coming in fits and starts. I also want to just check on my battery. I don't know if I can do this without doing anything dangerous. That's fine. Oh, I said I'd break it. Ever thought of living in Canada? Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. I could technically live in Canada because I'm technically Canadian. Technically. But I would have to prove my Canadian citizenship by not but I'd have to sort of do something weird which I don't want to get into that, but I don't want to claim my Canadian citizenship yet because it could cause issues. Ever thought about going to Jay Leno's garage? Yes. And have I seen Mighty Car? Have I seen? I'm sorry. Have I seen Mighty Car Mods? I would love to do a crossover with those guys. I would love to. Yeah, K to the City. I think that's brilliant. I love Mighty Car Mods. It's on my list. There's lots of stuff like Doug Demuro. He's on my list as well of people I watch. K Judosa. Did I say it right? Yes, because Canada was kind of not doing so well there for a while, and now it's got Mr. Trudeau in charge, and things are changing, and we've got Mr. Trump in charge. Things are changing. That's why I haven't left the UK. That's why I haven't left the US for a while. Partly I can't afford it, but partly I don't want to get kicked out. What are my thoughts on the Syrian situation? Wow, politics with Trump. I think the solution that he took was a stupid one. And I think he's playing with fire, especially when Russia's concerned. But at the same point, humanitarian, you've got to you can't gas people. That's wrong. Coal will die even with Trump in charge. Yes, it will. Because a lot of the coal mining, it's impossible for things to continue as they are. Sure. So I think, honestly, I think that the whole Middle East is demonized for a lot of stuff. Having looked into air transport much for 10, there's not much going on, but there's plenty of other. Shh, don't tell anybody. There's an electric airplane story in this week's show. Shh, just keep it between you and me, okay? Any rumours on upcoming Leaf range? I reckon 250. Oh, are we just like your therapist? You can just talk about your opinions to us. Would you debunk some pro-coal videos? Maybe. Leak, yes, coal will continue to die. Leak story. I love your channel. Keep up the good work. And yes, maybe. I mean, you're slightly cheaper than my therapist. But I mean, I'm answering questions about EVs. Drumps. Oh, yes, I like to say that. Drumps. I don't think he gets down to the granularity which would affect you. No, but as a member of the GLBT community, yeah, you should make more of these. I should. Would you like me to do one of these? I already do a hangout on a regular basis, but I mean, I might do this on Periscope. Obviously, not by candlelight. You should do this once a week, like 10. Maybe we should Nikki's candlelight talk. Can't wait for Cold Dry in Australia. No. Love the live streams. You got 2 from me this week. It's fun. Yeah, I like the live streams too. I've got to find a battery in a minute. It's more romantic. See, this is the one I really like. Not this candle. This one here. Look at that. Look at that perfect flame. Look at that. Well, you can't. It's got cobwebs on it, but that's a pretty amazing flame right there. I like that as flames go. I think what's happening is that my wife I think what's happening is that my wife's probably been stuck at a rapid charger because other people are trying to charge their EVs up as well. I mean, I could use my main light, but the problem is, once the battery's charged up, Nikki's candlelight confessions. Paying carbon tax to you? I'm afraid I'm not. I'm really not. I'm gonna have to move now. Do I know James Cook? Yes, we're gonna work on something together. Shh, don't tell anybody. He and I have talked. We have plans. Oh, I think I just broke it. Any solar yard lights? No, I don't have a yard. No, I don't have a yard. But I do have this, which is the light I use when I'm doing the show, which is fantastically light. James's vlog is amazing. I love James. He's lovely. He's a really lovely guy. He and I have had some very... What's my favourite car that I've been in? Oh, crikey. Probably a 1953 Rolls Royce of some description. Please excuse me, I'm looking for a battery. This is my camera bag with all my battery stuff in it. Don't mind the fox. He's harmless. He has his own YouTube channel. Bless him. Hi, Chimichanga. Oh, you know who he is. This is Chimmy. Yes, and James's son is lovely. This is Chimichanga. He does a lot of hospital things, and he has no eyes for reasons. I feel like we're having this conversation. Isn't it nice? It's lovely. It really is. You can bet now, by the way, that someone's going to watch this tomorrow. So since my channel actually became reasonably successful, which has only happened in the last couple of weeks, the amount of hate and trolling I now get on my channel is really kind of amusing. And to begin with, it got me down, but it's actually quite amusing now. I don't kind of mind it anymore. No, I can just imagine somebody going now, "Oh my God, you've got an animal costume. Oh God." Right, let's turn this on. Like that. Look at that. Power. Yay. And hopefully, when are we seeing Chimichanga again? Oh, they don't see. Well, I don't know if anybody's actually seen him before. Hang on, I have to find him. I have to find him. Let's see if I can find him. He doesn't like the dark, though. He doesn't like the dark. He's not a fan of the dark. Little boy, he doesn't like it. Had a bad experience when he was younger. He really doesn't. So there we go. Hey, how's it going? Hey, this is me, Jimmy. Hey. Ignore the haters? No, I'm not gonna. I don't care what anyone says, I'm good. Yeah. Good and happy and all that. Yeah. So there you go. That's Jimmy. Bless him. Little cotton socks. No, I've got some other stuff planned with him. I've got a couple of videos. If you do watch their other channel, you know that there are some other people that are fairly well known that I work with sometimes. And someone from an American now living in Europe. I'm working with her on something. I'm not going to name her because we already filmed it. But basically that doesn't make any money and Transport Evolved does. So I've been focusing on Transport Evolved because that's the thing that makes some money right now. Glad you won't let it bother you. Is Chimmy Australian? No, he's I don't know really where he's from. He is, oh God, he nearly caught fire and that would be bad. He is from, he's kind of a chilled out California dude. I can't really do the accent properly, really. But I have another character that's in development right now and she is definitely British. And then I've got a Scottish character as well. Sounds pretty American. Well, you know, I can't really do the voice without him. Yeah. That's how he sounds most of the time. He's very chill. I'm not like him at all. Not like me at all. But we go into a local children's hospital. One of the reasons why you sometimes don't get videos from me on a Wednesday is there's a bunch of local mascots, and we go into the kids' hospital, and we basically help the kids feel better, and talk to the kids and their parents, make them smile, give out like colouring books and stuff like that. We're going to do one this coming week in a local hospital. We're going to be giving out Easter eggs, but shh, don't tell anybody. And he sometimes sometimes does EV stuff. There is a video out there somewhere of me doing a review of the Chevrolet Volt, with a friend of mine, and my friend is in costume and I'm just driving the car. It's ridiculously funny. Anything cool you've seen in the EV news or otherwise? What's your opinions on straight EV Bolt? Right. Okay, I'm going to try and do those two. Anything cool I've seen in the news? EV or... Was it EV or otherwise? Did I see that? EV or otherwise? Okay, so in terms of news... Well, I'm really excited about what SpaceX is doing. Really am super, super happy about SpaceX. I really like that. What's your opinion on straight EV? Well, I mean, I would rather have an all-electric vehicle than I would a range extended, but I can also understand that range extended sometimes has a place. Right now I have a family member who is 200 miles away, 250 miles away. So going to see them on a regular basis is kind of hard work. So having a range extended EV would be quite useful at that point, because, you know, if you're on long distance stuff, yes, have a child who is a long way away at the moment. Don't really, yeah. It's one of the things I don't talk about. So yeah, I'd rather have pure electric, but I can see the benefit of long range. Do I sell only 10 branded t-shirts? No, sort of. I need to do some new ones. Going to test drive the new Pacifica? I hope so. Fiat Chrysler, call me. Yeah, I'd love to do that. In fact, I'd love to put one through its paces and really get to know it. Because, you know, it's a car that's... Being a parent's kind of tough. And sometimes you can't fit everything in EV. Still no power, no. My parents had an old Caravan, worst car ever. You know what? I think the leaf's just arrived. In fact, it has. So let's show you how we do this. So we're going to wait for my wife to come in. The leaf's back, and I will show you alrighty. And we're going to plug in. Whoops. Have it. So that is how our house is going to run all evening. There we go. There we go. Dogs, yes. Leave that plugged in all night, I think. Is that the goal? I've got another extension lead. Yay. Hello, internets. By the way, you're live on the internets. Hello, internets. She got me another cable. How to show your love in my spouse a cable. That sounded wrong. I'm sorry. And so we have power here, and we have... It was a cat inverter. Yep, And then here is the fridge, and it's running, and it's lovely. So we'll leave that on. We'll leave that on. You can see this is running. I can turn this back on now. I can prove to you that, oops, boop, boop, boop. I can plug this in like that, and then we have the Transport Evolved video will come up and running. No, my dog is not called Internet. No, my dog is called Pepper. Aren't you? One of them is. The other one's called River. So what we'll do is we'll go over here, we'll unplug that light, grab that light, bring that over here, and then we'll actually have some proper illumination. Look at this. I don't know what I'm going to do with the light. This is all running off our Nissan Leaf. There we go. So, the whole house running on a Nissan Leaf. So I think that's connectivity. There you go. Oh, still no power. Very choppy. Yes. Look, we now have a computer with connection. I can prove to you that we have a Transport Evolved. There we go. So this is not the main thing. So this is the one, yep, and you can see right here.
Yes, indeed. Since gliding itself is a very environmentally friendly thing, it's just the getting up there that isn't always so green.
So I've done all this, I just don't have any of the pretty pictures to go in here. So that's what we're waiting for. So that will have to wait. I'm not running. Don't spoil us. No, I'm not going to. So, but this is essentially what we will have done. And the really crazy thing here, I just need to get rid of that. The really crazy thing is that we have internet connectivity. What's the video editing tool I use? Final Cut Pro. By the way, for those who are interested, that's Mr. Chimichanga right there. He goes and does various fun things. Speed test. Speedtest.net. There we go. And let's see what we're getting. Have you seen the wheels that don't require tyres? Absorbs a huge amount of load. Yes, I have. They're very curvy. So this is a stupid thing. We've got a power cut, but I've still got 91 megabits down, megabits per second, sorry, down, and probably about the same going up. So it just gives you an idea of how crazy things are right now. So there we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say goodnight with the spookiness, and I'm going to blow out my candles like this. And wish you all a good night wherever you are in the world. It is 10:30 my time. If you're watching this now, you know why I haven't uploaded a 10 yet. It's because you don't have any power. And this computer will not turn on. This main one over here, that one in the corner, will not turn on without causing problems. I'm going to put Chimichanga back in the right place. Oh, I've got my hand in his mouth. That's not nice. I'm sorry, sweetheart. By the way, if you first saw your mascot, you do start to think of these like they're alive. A friend of mine had one of his broken not long ago, and I had the broken skull, and just did my head in. So there we have it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is all the cabling and everything running off a Nissan Leaf. So if you don't believe me, we'll do just one final chase through the house, and hopefully this is now on cable. Where's the cable? Where's the light? Let's take the light off. That would work. Wouldn't it, puppy? That would work. Charger's full and the car's rubber side down. Yes. Let's see. So we really are one of only. Yeah, we're one of only. I'll just do this because people keep joining the conversation. So if you look over here, if you look over there, these guys have got power. These guys have got power, including my neighbour with a Volkswagen e-Golf. But these guys, they don't have power. So the guys over there, they don't have power. Nobody has power up the street. I don't have power. That's the Transport Evolved edit machine, which is broken. Well, not broken, it's not working right now. But let me show you. So, fridge, running off power. This is all running off power. That lead is going upstairs. That lead is coming down. Time for Honda Jenny. No, not time for Honda Jenny. Time for this. This is powering my house right now in that. You can see. All right. And then if we look inside, you can see that the car is charging. Whoops, the car is not charging. The car is powering. It's currently at 90%. It's got 90%. And it is going to just sit there all night and run the power inverter here. Alright, so that's got the nice new battery, and there's a video coming on that, connected to that power cable. Does it see? Yes it does. Yes it does. And then that goes up. For those who don't know, it works by taking the power from the 12-volt battery, and the car automatically replenishes the 12-volt battery like that. So, that is it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I am now going to go to bed because it's late, and hopefully tomorrow I have a video to edit. But PGE does not... No. Yes! Oh, yeah. We're disconnected from the mains. All of that stuff you saw is plugged directly into the inverter, which is connected directly to the car. And the car is on. So the car's not plugged in, although it is parked over its wireless charging dongle. But obviously that's not working right now because the power's off. So the worst thing that could happen there is it would end up not having a charge in the morning, which we can fix pretty simply. So, good night, everybody. Wherever you are, don't forget to keep evolving. Night, night.